Bashir Yahweh Bashir Rakatash Wada Yahawah Wada Yahawah Bashir Yahweh Shalaki Yahweh for my sins as I cry. Oh, Yahweh, Rashim Yahweh Shai, Babakasha Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, for your mercy all the time. Kolo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Abba, my Father, I love you all the time. Kolo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Shalaki Yahweh, for my sins as I cry. Babakasha Yahweh, for your mercy all the time. Barakatha Yahweh, for your love all the time. Shalaki Yahweh, for my sin as I cry. Shalom, shalom. Woo! I'm telling you, man, things are getting and going off the freaking chart, off the chain, man. All right. Shalom, Akim, Akwav. I want to say, of course, and absolutely always, a salutation to the hopeful elect and for those that are diligently out here doing the work in truth and in spirit, reaching out to those of the elect that need to be reached in reference to this truth, because that's all that really matters at this point in time as we move forward into prophecy, which is the only thing we should be talking about right now, is where we are and where we're going in prophecy. That is the crux of the whole situation. I want to give my my earnest respect and admiration and a salutation to the apostles who have been bringing this truth out for decades in and decades out. They have been bringing complete accuracy of this truth. And if you're not operating within this truth and this accuracy that comes from the forbearance of the Royal Caucasian, the spirit that goes through One West and down through the apostles of Great Millstone who have been bringing this truth forward, then you're just not in the truth. I'm not going to, go through this and that with you and this and forth. I mean, all these other derivatives and camps and organizations that are out there, they all got their start, including myself, in terms of studying from the apostles that were out here doing this work for over 40 years and plus. And that in itself is a fire. That in itself is being tried by the fire, being refined through the fire. If you're out here doing this work and you're out on the highways and byways, and if you're out on the unicorn of information in terms of the social platforms that have been afforded to us by YAHAWAH Shimon Shai, and you are diligently getting this work out, you are being tried by the fire. Okay, that's what you're doing. And the fire is going to get hotter. It's going to get more brazen, and there's going to be more aspects of the fire that are going to be going from all aspects of this whole situation. So you might as well get ready and you might as well get used to it, because this is what we're going to be dealing with, okay? And it's going to turn up. And as I said, and you've heard it being said that they brought out the edict for this year. And if I'm correct, they got it saying clearly that 2023 is the hopeful year that all prophecy will be fulfilled. And it can happen real fast, and it's seemingly going in that direction right now. YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua gave me also a lesson that I was able to put out for his grace and his glory and his mercy, which spoke to something a little similar when he had me say 2023, the start of the year of no more years, which coincides with what they came out with pretty much, because if this is the start of the year of no more years, and this is also the hopeful process of all prophecies being fulfilled, that would mean there's no more years, because once prophecies are completed, there's no more years as we know it here in this system. All right, that's it. It's a finished situation. Now, listen, I have a lot of stuff to cover today, so I'm going to give you fair warning for all of you individuals who are not interested in learning anything and getting into the spirit of understanding where we're at and just kind of moving in that direction. I'll have to cover a lot of ground today. I got a lot of scriptures to bring out, so this is going to be a long lesson. So if you're not interested in getting any edification or learning anything here from the exhortation that's coming, go somewhere else now. Go. You don't have to stay here and listen, because there's going to be quite a bit that's going to have to be covered today, because there's so much going on right now as we come into this, what I call a pseudo New Year period being brought in by Esau Edom. Okay. Our New Year that's coming up in March is the real New Year, because that's when the Most High YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua pushes things into the newness of, his regeneration of his creation. We got new birth and creatures that happen on his earth that he has created, as well as multiple things that are become anew, perennial. He has a very perennial process that he's working with. Now, as I said before, the foundation upon which the Most High has presented me to operate under is under his praise, worship, and prayer platform, in terms of what I'm supposed to be providing in terms of my servitude. I claim only to be a servant of YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua, ergo the name Obadiah and Yahweh Canaan, which comes together in terms of saying, look, that's a servant, and that's my son, or my loved one John. Yahweh Canaan is John gift extended. So Obadiah servant, John gift extended. Obadiah Yahweh Canaan. All right. Just wanted to clear that up for anybody just didn't know that. Okay. We're gonna touch a lot of things today. First and foremost, I like to get into what I'm supposed to, which is I always have to give my Father praise, worship, and give him prayer. And in doing so, I like to come from the platform of speaking in reference to the tribe that I believe that through the Spirit and other factors that I derive from. And so, as usual, I like to give my seminal prayer to YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. I know some of my brethren that are in this truth in the various organizations and camps that are out here, they can concur with this, because they are also part of the Northern Kingdom. And if they are part of the Seminole tribe, they will understand what it is that I'm doing and why I'm giving this respect and honor to YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua completely. Okay, so that's without the shadow of doubt when it comes to that. So glasses on and as we go. And as I always try to explain in the beginning what it is that I'm saying in Seminole prayer language, so that you have that understanding. And that way, if you have that understanding, then hopefully you'll be able to follow along with me in that process. Okay, so this is what we're doing, and I pray that you are with me on this in that manner. I am speaking now, O Great Spirit, is what we normally would call Yahawah, right? Bashem Yahushua. All the people of the Seminole tribe, Reubenite tribe, thank you for our land and our water. We always thank you because we know we're part of the land, and being part of the land, we also know that the water is part of the land, because the water also is a representation of our people. All right. Thank you for our land and water. We thank you for our dogs, which watch over us at night, and our horses, which carry us through the day. And I said this and explained this before. When I talk about the dogs, I'm not speaking just about an animal, which is a dog, and not same thing for just not the horses, which are also an animal. The dogs are in reference to an alarm system that we would use as a tribe, because if so the dogs have a sense where they can hear things like every other animal better than we can hear things. They can smell and hear things and get a scent. And so what they do watch over us because they alarm us when the enemy is coming. When someone is coming that could potentially harm us, they what they do is they start barking. They go off. They show the direction upon which the enemy is coming. And of course, the horses represent power. Okay, the power that we were using by the grace of YAHAWAH to give us an ability to be able to defend ourselves in those kinds of conditions. And we thank you for our good food, and we eat from the earth, and we've always learned to do that and respect what we eat from the earth. And we thank you for the good wind that blows on our backs, and that's a representation of the spirit that protects us. We know that the spirit is a work of Kadesh, which is the pneuma, which is the wind that comes from YAHAWAH. And we thank you for our good thoughts that come from our hearts. That's the things that come in our mind. So we're talking about the heart of our minds, where we thank YAHAWAH, Elgo, when we praise. You notice that one thing about so-called Indians that they do, whether it be the tribe of Gad, tribe of Reuben, Issacharites, what have you, we get our blood flowing in our worship. And we pray to YAHAWAH. That's why when you hear my brother Malcolm from the GMS camp out of Chicago, he talked about, hey, YAHWAH, hey, Yah, hey, YAHWAH, hey, YAHWAH, 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 hey, YAHWAH, hey, Yah. We're praising to YAHAWAH. That's what we do. This is why in my heart and my spirit, I have to sing praise to YAHAWAH before I start my lessons that he gives me. And when I end my lessons, this is my praise and my worship to him and to him only, because this is who I follow and who I follow him only. So I always say, thank you, Great Spirit, for that. And then come and eat with us. And when we talk about eating, we're also talking about not just nourishment and food from his bounty, but we're also talking about, eating of this truth, eating of this word. This is what we're doing. And this is what we're saying, and this is the direction that we're going in, okay? So in terms of that Seminole language written, Koholo YAHWAH Shim Yamasha, Bashim Rukakudash, Ish, Isha, Kasha, Senoko, Model, Haya Yawa Nawaka, Benoka, Kamoto, Ifujekaya, Seno Wamako, Fubaka, Sinoko Nakamodo, Fuayara, Sinoko Namano, Fuhayana, Menos Kalaka, Hambakasha, Ishalahaka, Sinu no Makaho, Hayanawoka, Sino Mamahotoko, Ihochakacha, Niwashakamato, Fua baka, sinyo anamakaho mata, fua ra, sinyo namoda muda, fua wahana, luwa mana, mahuna kaha, hamu bahashaha, YAHWAH. Native Americans have a deep-rooted belief in nature and spirituality. We do. That is both beautiful and profound for us to do this in that way. Our connection to all things living and non-living, big and small, is inspiring and honorable to YAHWAH. There's no quiet silence in nature that we don't respect and embrace. We enjoy the natural, authentic, and untouched land when it was given to us from the beginning. And so that's why our prayer is what it is. It's a prayer that's a spiritual prayer and communication between our Father and ourselves. Two-way relationship in which we, and only us, in the way we do, we talk to YAHWAH, who listens to us, and we listen to him. So just like a child's conversation with his father, it's natural for us to ask the Father for the things that he needs us to do in the way that he needs us to do it. And of course, the scriptures tell us that we are to pray for one another and also pray to Yahawah, who hears us and answers our prayers. Jeremiah chapter 33:3. Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things that you do not know. And this is what we're going to be talking about a lot of this today, because we're going to need to talk about preparations in a way that the Most High always has provided answers for us about things. Psalms 91:15. He will call on me and I will answer him, and I will be Shalaki, and I will be with him in trouble, and I will deliver him and honor him. And that's what Yahweh is saying. He will deliver us when we call on him. And this is what's going to happen. We all, I'm going to have to say this. Let me get out first and foremost, since I got my prayer out and the praise going and I'm in the spirit and ready to get this thing going. We're going to get into this. I'm going to do a little more commentary, but I can't stay on that long because I got a lot of stuff to cover. But let me just say this. All right. The title of the lesson, you saw it, and I'm going to say it again. Yahawah always told his elect to prepare for his wrath. He always told us to prepare for his wrath. Ergo, you see the title thumbnail of Noah's Ark. All right. We're going to touch on Noah, and we're going to touch on the fact that he preached for 120 years, and it took him 100 years to build an ark. Now, if he built the ark in 100 years, all this time he was telling the world and those that had to hear it that this is what's coming. You need to be prepared. Okay. Now, we got a lot of things that we're going to cover in that area, and I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to break out some scriptures that's going to support everything that I'm saying, because all I'm saying is coming from Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai. And we have to understand the Most High gives us answers and gives us directions, because we're going to have windows of time before total deliverance comes. And don't get it twisted and don't get it mixed up. Nothing that I'm telling you in terms of complete salvation is going to come to pass on you in that way. What do I mean by that? I'm saying if you try to save your life here in the way that you're going about it the wrong way, which is not following the law, statute, commandments, and the scriptures that the brothers who are the prophets that are bringing these warnings out to you, if you don't follow the scriptures and go through the doctrines that the Most High has brought that's in accuracy, then you're going to be in error and you're going to be in the line of destruction that's on you without preparation. Destruction's coming, and we're all going to have to be refined by fire. The elect, as well as those that are not the elect. No one's going to shed this flesh unless a chariot comes and whisk you away. And if it does, this flesh ain't getting on no chariot. So it's going to have to be somehow transformed or converted in order to get on a vessel that is spiritually holy and righteous. You're not taking this corrupt flesh on a chariot unless it's converted. Let's get it straight. All right. Let's be under no delusions and no misconceptions. All the flesh on this earth is wicked flesh. Okay. It is. That's why the Most High said flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. And a chariot that is come from the realm of the kingdom of heaven is a righteous chariot. It is a sovereign, righteous, holy vessel. You are not going to take this vessel on a chariot unless it has been purified and cleansed, which means this flesh can't go. So it's going to have to be somehow either transfigured or it's going to be somehow shed in order for you to get on a chariot. Elect, yes. Those that are not the elect, this is not for you. So you don't even have to stay for this. You can roll out, all right? Because this ain't part of what you're doing. You already have been predetermined what your destiny is, all right? This lesson is primarily for the elect completely that are awake and those that are becoming awake, so that they could follow the directives of YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua in terms of what your preparedness is supposed to be. Noah was the elect. It says it even in 2 Peter chapter 2:5 that he was perfect to the Most High as a preacher. So that means he was the elect, and he was given preparations to do before the wrath of destruction came upon the earth. He had 120 years to tell people, get your act together and go back to YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. Now, of course, we know that we had a whole lot of the 2/3, just like we got right now, that they're not going to hear this message. They're not going to adhere to this message. They're not going to follow this message. That's fine. This is not for them. They're not supposed to hear that part. But for those of the elect that are giving directives and direction, just like if you're a sheep herder and you're taking your sheep through a area where there's bears and wolves and animals that will grab your sheep and eat your sheep, you have to prepare for that. David prepared for any point in time that he dealt with any animals in the wilderness when he was a sheep herder. He had to deal with bears, he had to deal with lions, he had to deal with wolves, he had to deal with all these, and he dealt with a slingshot. So he had to have some form of preparation in order to deal with them. You can't just go out there and think you're going to handle a big old giant grizzly bear that's going to take some of your sheep and you ain't prepared to know how to deal with him. Okay, that's why he was prepared and he knew what to do when it came to dealing with Goliath, because he was prepared. There's nothing in the Bible that tells you that you're not supposed to prepare. To the contrary, it tells you to prepare. Now, as I said before, I'm not talking about preparation that's going to save you from everything that's going to happen on the wrath of this earth that YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua is going to bring down. No, I am not. Your preparation, I'm not telling you to go get all kinds of weapons. I'm not telling you to go get all kinds of preppy stuff that the Esau, Edoms are doing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are parameters that you're supposed to follow in reference to what the Most High tells you to do through the scriptures to get through tribulation. None of us are going to get past it. There may be some that may be spared, but even the brothers are telling you, even the elect have to be tried through the fire. All the elect have been tried through the fire throughout the history of the Bible. Every one of the prophets, every one of the apostles that followed Yahushua, they all got tried through the fire, and they all, except for John. John on the island Patmos, he was the last one. From what our knowledge is, he died of old age. Okay, yes, okay, so that he was the only one that we know of. But he still had to go through a similitude of fire because they had him on that Isle of Patmos out of them salt mines, and he had to go through be tried through fire as well. Okay, even though he was blessed and guarded by YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. Yes. YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua will protect some of his elect that won't have to go to concentration camps, won't have to be martyred, won't have to go through certain levels of destruction. Yes, that's correct. YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua will protect some, but he also told you that some of you will have to flee. Where you have to flee. If you're going to flee somewhere, what you going to do when you get there? Okay, if you don't know what the hell to do. So you need to have some directives that come from individuals who YAHAWAH Shem has blessed them with the knowledge to give you the information so you know where to flee to. Because some of you will live through this shit. Some of you will live through the destruction coming. I ain't talking about the 2/3. They got to get what they got to get, all right? They're going to get it. They can't get around it. They're predetermined to get it. Okay, just like you see all these jokers, that these Jakes and all these other crazy people walk around with masks on. They're already predetermined to go and take the juicy juice and the MOTB and everything else. They're already predetermined to do it. They're going to do that. That's their part. But there are some of you where your part is you have to not be an infidel. You can't be an idiot infidel. You can't be spiritually retarded. Grow up. Stop being childish. Be spiritually mature. Stop fighting with elders. Stop fighting with demons, and get to the point where you know what you're supposed to do. Start giving directives from YAHAWAH Hashem Yahawashi, because the shit that hits the fan now is going to land on everybody. Nobody's getting the pass. If you in the flesh, you will be tried through the fire. Some of you going to get tried more than others, but you will have to go through the fire. Even the 3 Hebrew children had to still be put in the fire. Yes, they were not harmed because they were what? Praising, worshiping, and obeying YAHAWAH Hashem Yahawashi. This is why they still, even though they went in the fire, they were protected. But look, they still went through the fire. Don't think that you won't. If you're here in the flesh and you don't get transfigured and taken on a chariot and taken out of here prior to when the fires start, because right now, if you really look at it, everything we're doing is going through the fire. Every trial and tribulation that we have, since we've been going through, man, we've been going through fire and refining fire since 7 different castes, 7 different levels of slavery. Okay. That's being tried through fire. This is what it is. You are being tried through the fire as you go through tribulation. Even the prophets back then that were telling the people, listen, you're not obeying the Most High. You're going to go through the fire. You are going to be going into captivity. This is what you need to do. The Assyrians are coming. They're going to take you into the fire. The Babylonians are coming. They're going to take you into the fire. This is what it is. The Greeks, the Romans, all this is going through the fire. You ain't escaping. You're not getting out of that. This is what the scripture said. You will be tried by fire. Everybody is going to have to be touched by this. If you're in the flesh, you're going to be touched. If it don't touch you personally, you will see family members go through the fire, friends go through the fire, and enemies go through the fire. This is what the scriptures say. Don't get it twisted, okay? You have to learn to listen to YAHAWAH Hashem Yahawashi and be prepared to go through the fire. Don't be stupid. You're not getting away with this. Look at what YAHAWAH went through. He's the Savior. He's the Savior. What did he go through? What did YAHAWAH go through? Are you better than YAHAWAH? Is anybody better than him? No. Me, no one else. He went through the fire. We're going to go through the fire. If the son of YAHAWAH Hashem Yahawashi had to go through the fire, you're not going to get away from this. Everybody has to go through the fire in some way, somehow. You know this. Don't be spiritually retarded. Have some spiritual maturity. Grow up. Joseph had to prepare. The Most High told Joseph to prepare for 7 years of famine. Noah, 120 years. Took him 100 years to build the ark. Don't you think he was being prepared? I'm not telling you that you're going to escape. I'm not telling you that this is how your salvation comes. But part of your salvation comes from obeying and listening to YAHAWAH Hashem Yahawashi and what he says, and he gives directions, and he tells you to be prepared. Don't tell me he doesn't do that. He tells you not to worry about who? The wicked and how they'll be punished. Okay, let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 9, and let's read what Yahweh's angel told to us about what has to happen. I got it. I got it in my notes right here. Here we go. 2 Ezra chapter 9. 1. He answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see that some of the signs I have told you about appeared, you will know that the time has come when YAHWAH High of Most will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers when you see these things happening. Now, I'm reading from a new translation just so the bug outs who can't understand what I'm talking about can get a freaking clue, okay? How about that? 4, you will know that they are what YAHWAH, power of Most High, has spoken about since the beginning of creation. The beginning and the end of everything that happens in this world are clear. The same is true in the world above. Wonders and miracles show the beginning of events, and mighty signs show when they end. Some people will escape destruction. Hello? Some people will escape destruction and be saved by their good works or by their faith. All of them. That's what the scriptures say. You got a problem with it? Go to the scriptures and show me that that's not the case in 2 Ezra chapter 9. Okay? Some people will escape the destruction and be saved by their good works and by their faith, which means you have to obey the scriptures and follow what you're supposed to follow. Okay? All right? All of them will survive the dangers I have described and will enjoy the salvation provided in the land that I have set apart from eternity as my own. Okay? It's exclusive. No universalism, no wacky-tacky Christian crap. None of those are involved in this, okay? This is not part of you. Let it go. You ain't got this program on you. This doesn't work for you, okay? 9. Then those who have ignored my ways and held them in contempt will be surprised when they find themselves in continual torment. Okay? This will include all those who ignored me while they were Oh man, I'm getting excited. Just bear with me. While they were what? Ignore me while they were in their liberty, right? Therefore, Ezra, you should stop asking questions about how the wicked will be punished. Instead, be concerned about how and when the righteous will be saved. The world was created for them and belongs to them. See, so the world is created for those of us that are following YAHAWAH, Shem YAHAWAH, not following Jesus Christ, not following YAHAWAH or Yeshua or none of that stuff, okay? Only for those that are following. Look, this is just for the chosen people, man. Ain't nobody else involved in this. No one else is associated with this. This don't include you. You got to get ready for the sword because that's all you got. That's your predestination. It doesn't belong to them. 15. I must repeat what I said before. The lost far outnumber those who are saved. 0%. The lost far outnumber those who are saved. Okay? You hear it for yourself. 16. It is like a wave compared with a drop of water. He answered, 17. The seed to be planted depends on the soil. The color of the flower depends on the kind of flower, and the quality of the product depends on the skill of the worker, and the size of the harvest depends on how hard the farmer has worked. Before I created this world, or the people who would live in it, no one opposed me because no one existed. When I had created the world, I supplied it with an abundance of food and a law of profound wisdom. But the people I created lived corrupt lives. 20, I looked at my world and saw that it was ruined. I saw that my earth was in danger of being destroyed by wicked plans of the people who had come into it. Esau, Edom. Everything here, okay. All right, that's at 20. Everything here on this terra firma, all right, at this point in time. Now, I'm speaking specifically about I would say, the electrochemiluminescence portion of the creation that has been allowed to be managed by a very bad manager, Esau, Edom. Now, of course, he is the wicked, and he was created for the day of evil, so you can expect the perfect wicked weapon to do all wicked stuff all the time and create and corrupt all things, because the Most High has puppetized him to be in this condition because he's going to pay for everything that he did out of order and went too far. So he has to pay for that. If you join upon him and you follow him and you think that he has a program that you wish to participate in, to think that's your level of salvation, then you go ahead and then you have to go down when he goes down. It's no question about it. So if you are going to be part of the group of the 2/3 that are involved in the process of following what Esau Edom has presented to you as what you think is salvation, then you will get all the plagues and you will get all the wrath and all the judgment that he has coming to him. You notice he hasn't paid for anything so far as of yet. No, he has not. Don't let him lie to you and use his biggest form of power that he has at this end time, which is what? Deception. I told you we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Look at all what's happening right now. If things are not being brought to the heightened level of deception, then I don't know what is. And that's going to be one of the most powerful weapons that Esau Edom wields this time around. He is going to have deception at it's going to be the epitome of the highest level that the Most High lets him wield. Trust me, you see it happening already. It's going to be the most powerful weapon he's going to have in his arsenal, which is going to be to deceive you into believing something that is not going to take place forever here on this terra firma and anywhere in or out of heaven. I'm telling you, you better pay close attention. He's made everything toxic here. Everything is toxic here. Only thing we can count on is the truth that's filtered through these scriptures by the men of the Lord who have been given the provision and the grace and the mercy and being blessed with being able to translate this information into your reality and to your path to salvation. That's it. This is the only thing here that isn't toxified. Other than that, everything else is tainted and toxified, and it ain't going into the new covenant. It's not. The only thing you got is your works through this work. Through this work that you have to do here and through this truth. And if you're not operating through works in this truth, then you're in the dark, even in the daytime. Okay, it's just as simple as that. You know, it's very simple. We are basically getting bombarded consistently with abominations. You got to know that, right? We're getting completely bombarded with abominations on the regular. I used to say all the time that I believe he's pouring, when he does the chemtrails and all that, I believe he's just pouring pork on us right from the sky. I mean, everything it seems like everything's got some kind of form of abomination in it. Whether you eat it, drink it, smell it, see it, whatever. It's just a complete abomination, man. And the thing is right now, the demons know that this is it. This is the last hoorah for them. So for the most part, the demons are on extra high level fired up mode. They're on the extra high level fired up mode. And you can see them coming through every portion and fraction of your family. Man, you even see these demons coming through people who's supposed to be in the truth, man. You got dudes out on the highways and byways arguing, spiritually immature, going at elders, they're just going nuts, man. This is crazy, man. You can see the demons on extra high powered, fired up mode right now. And they're doing that because they know this is the end. This is it for them. They can't go no further than this. Let me get back to the scripture here. 21. Shot. When I saw this, I found it very difficult to spare them, but I saved a few for myself. One grape out of a bunch and one tree out of a great forest. Okay? So let them perish, all those people who were born only to be lost. See, he says this, but let my chosen people be kept safe, those for whom I work so hard to bring to perfection. Okay? And it says here, to perfection, 23. And now, Ezra, you must wait 7 more days, but do not fast this time. So he's telling Ezra, he's got to wait because there's some more things that have to happen during this period of time, right? And 7 is spiritual completeness, right? Okay. 24, go to the field of wildflowers where no one has ever lived before and was enough food for me. So in other words, what he's telling you is, go into the world and do what I tell you to do, because what's coming, you're going to be able to participate in it, but you're going to follow my directions specifically. In other words, go into the world and get prepared for what I want you to do. 27, after 7 days, I was lying on the grass, and once again, my thoughts began to trouble me. Then I began to speak and said to Yahawah, Yahawah, the Most High Host, O Yahawah, O Lord, you revealed yourself to our ancestors when they were traveling through the trackless, barren desert after they had left Egypt. You said to them, see, they were going through the wilderness, listen to me, people of Israel. I am giving you my law. It will be like a seed planted among you that produces fruit, and it will be your crowning glory forever. 32. Our ancestors received the law, but they disobeyed its commands. Yet the fruit of the law was not destroyed. It could not be destroyed because it was yours. 33, those who had received the law were destroyed because they did not guard the good seed that was sown in them. This is what we're trying to tell you. The law is not going to save you, all right? The participation of following the law, statutes, and commandments and your faith in YAHAWAH, HaMashiach, is where you stand in terms of what you're supposed to do. And you take your directives from YAHAWAH because the Most High put him in charge of all things. And this is what you're supposed to do. 34, the usual thing is that the container remains after its contents have been destroyed. For example, seed in the ground, a ship on the sea, or food in a bowl. But this is not the case with us sinners. The law was placed in our hearts, and we are the ones who will be destroyed because we have sinned. The law was not destroyed. It will remain in all its glory. While I was saying these things to myself, I looked around and saw a woman on my right. She was weeping and wailing, terribly upset. Her clothes were torn, and there were ashes on her head. This was a representation of Yahawah, of Yasharallah and Jerusalem, who we call, Jerusalem, right? Okay. And it says here, and ask, why are you crying and why are you so upset? Please, sir, she answered, leave me alone and let me be here. And she just was talking about dying, right? After 30 years, Yahawah answered my prayer, and he saw my suffering, took away my distress, and gave me a son. Okay, YAHAWAH. What great joy this brought to my husband and me and to all our neighbors. We sang the praises of the Almighty. 46, I brought our son up with the greatest care. 47, and when he was grown, I chose a wife for him and prepared for the wedding. So this is all telling you how YAHAWAH is setting things up for the great wedding that we are supposed to go to and be part of. This is why you see the brothers on the street and the highways and byways trying to call people out to be prepared to go to the wedding. That's what it's all about. You get invited to the wedding, and if you're prepared and you have the right garment, then you will be accepted. But some of the people had garments that seemed to be right, but they still got kicked out. Why? Because they did not have the truth. You see this a lot with a lot of the organizations that might have beautiful garments that they're wearing. In other words, all uniformed and all looking all great. Okay, they look like they got the greatest garments in the world. They look like they're right on point, right? Well, guess what? They're going to get kicked out the wedding as far as what the Most High said through YAHAWAH. Because why? Because they're not there in the spirit of truth. They don't have the accuracy. They're talking about Jesus Christ and Christ Most High, Christ blessed, and all this stuff. So you can't come to the wedding and stay at the wedding with that kind of doctrine. That's not going to work. That's out. So you can forget about that. Okay, don't let me digress. I got to get back to what the scripture, back to what the lesson is. And I'm going to touch on some things that we need to know about in reference to the commandments. A lot of people don't know that, okay, out of the 613 commandments that we have, 248 of the commandments were positive commandments. And then you had 365 commandments that you can consider to be negative commandments. None of the commandments are bad. I'm not saying it in that sense. I'm not saying that, 240 are just positive and then 365 are all bad. No, that's not true. The law's not bad at all. So don't get it twisted and don't think in that capacity. But that constitutes 613 laws. But there's a lot of the laws that we have to understand that are in line with what is for worship, what parts are from temple, what parts of the temple and the priests had to participate in. We had the stuff that's reference to the sacrifices. We got things also in the commandments that deal with vows, ritual purity, tithes and offering in the sanctuary of Yahawah. Sabbatical year and what you have to do and process during that period of time, the feast of the Sabbath, the clean animals fit for consumption and for offerings, laws concerning the duty of the community and observing of the authority of Yahawah's laws and YAHAWAH's anointing, worship of false gods and related practices, and laws concerning times and tribulation and persecution. Now, I can't get into all of them because I have to go to all 613 laws, but I'm not going to take you to that state. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about precepts that speak to being prepared, because that's where we need to go. All right. So the first place we're going to go, right into my blue letter. Bear with me. Old Testament. And I'm going to start out with Ezekiel. Good place to go. Ezekiel, go with me, chapter 38 and verse 7. And it reads, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." Now, I'm really stressing this because I'm not saying, as I said before, don't you dare get it twisted in me thinking that I'm telling you that what you're going to do is going to save you through total salvation. No, I said before, there's going to be windows of time between periods that you go through tribulation and fire, where it's going to be bad, it's going to be real bad, it's going to get worse, it's going to be completely unbearable. But the Most High is trying to tell you that you still have to prepare. On the Sabbath, don't you prepare your food before the Sabbath? Aren't you told to prepare that? Yes, you are. So you cannot be thinking that you're not told to prepare, because if you're thinking that, you're in error, because the Most High has always told us to prepare for his wrath that's coming. And if you think that's not the case, then he was only talking to the elect. So even though Noah preached for 120 years, everybody else on the earth got destroyed except for Noah and his family, because he was told to prepare, and he did. The rest of them didn't want to. I was listening to a lesson this the evening when Manap Zappa did a good lesson in terms of breaking down the stuff that's going to happen. The brothers are going to warn you. And so as we're warning you, we're also telling you that there are certain parameters and certain things that you're supposed to take in consideration, because you may have to just live through the tribulation. You may not get whisked away. You may have to live through it. Okay? So you have to get prepared for those processes. And this is what this says here. Be prepared and prepare yourself, you and all your companies, which could be also camps, right, that are assembled about you, all right? And be on guard. Right, okay, like example, I did a couple of lessons already and told you about just trying to look at getting yourself in a position where your immediate household, let's just say the place where you live and your family, your kids, your wife, your husband or whatever, and you got a few things that you do to just fortify your environment, mainly because the Most High going to put angels around you to protect you. I'm not saying you have to build your house into an ultimate fortress where you got to be like Esau, Edom and be in bunkers and stuff. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying be wise. Be wise as the serpent and gentle as the dove. And the knowledge is know that you may have to go through a period of time when you may not have the resources or can't go out and get the resources that you need. So you get a few things that you need ahead of time, and you put that up, and you just be conscious and circumspect about what you're dealing with as far as how to handle yourself and protect yourself. If because one thing you're gonna have to face first and foremost. And most people don't seem to realize this, but let me let you know right now. Who you think's going to come against you first when all the Lucifer elixired individuals that's all liquored up come at you? Who you think's going to come first? It's going to be Jake's. Before you got Esau, Edom coming after you, which will come at the end, Jake's going to come at your ass first. Your own people going to come for you first. And what you going to do? You going to let these zombies come in and just go ahead and murder you? Is this what you want? You're gonna be so spiritually enamored that you can't figure out the Lord's going to tell you to protect yourself. When the children of Israel got attacked, or they were getting ready to get attacked, even during the time of the Maccabees, when I read that General Vespasian had figured out, he said, well, on the Sabbath they don't do anything, so we could go and attack them on the Sabbath. and we could have a victory against them on the Sabbath because they're going to lay down. Well, let me ask you, did Yahawah provide an answer? Yes, he told them, you better go ahead and act like you want to protect yourself, because if they think you got a weak spot on the Sabbath, they're going to come get you. Roughly paraphrasing. So what did he do? They tricked them. They thought they could come in and take them on the Sabbath. Eventually, they did overtake them, because history shows that Yahushua said that in 70 AD that Jerusalem will fall. But they tricked Vespasian and during that time, and they were not laying down on the Sabbath at that point, because the Most High gave them the grace and mercy to go ahead and defend themselves. You have the grace and mercy to defend yourself. You're not supposed to just lay down and be like these Christian missionaries that go into places in the world and they claim white Jesus, and the next thing you know, they get their head chopped off or get slaughtered or some craziness. See, I'm not telling you that you cannot, and the Lord's not telling you that you can't protect yourself. He didn't say that. What we're saying is, this is historical facts. That's stuff that happened, okay? People have to understand, Yahweh Shem Yahushai says to follow his directions and prepare. And that's what we're talking about today, okay? All right, John chapter 14, verse 3. John 14, 3. If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there ye may also be, right? Okay, so even Yahweh says he's preparing a place for us, Yahweh, through Yahushai. No matter where our situation is, he is preparing a place for us. Proverbs 21:31. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord, which is true. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. For we are his workmanship, created in Hamashiach Yahushai for good works, which Yahweh prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them. Psalms chapter 23:5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. See, Yahushua is showing you he's preparing a place for you in the presence of your enemies, so that you have a method of it's not total salvation, but you're going to the next wave or phase of what he has prepared for you. And there's nothing wrong with you following his preparation, okay? Psalms 5:3, chapter 5:3. In the morning, O Lord, you will hear my voice. In the morning, I will order my prayer to you and eagerly watch. So we're supposed to eagerly watch. That means you have to be prepared. Luke 12:20. But Yahweh said to him, you fool, this very night your soul is required of you, and now who will own what you have prepared? So the Most High is telling you, none of the stuff that we have, these houses, cars, food, whatever, none of that's going to save you. But it doesn't mean you can't weather some storms. You have to look at the process of tribulation. It's coming in stages. I just did a lesson on the stages, right? Stages are going to come. You're going to have a stage when you got, people getting stabbed and jabbed. You're going to have a stage when you're going to have people being forced to MOB. You're going to have a stage when you're going to have people forced to concentration camp. You're going to have a stage when you're going to have people who's going to be forced to basically give up the ghost, man, give up the spirit. You're going to have various stages. You're going to have stages where you have to go to the wilderness to escape for a period of time until you get salvation in total. You're going to have stages. And this is what's coming. So if you know that you got stages and things are happening, you have to prepare for each stage. You are allowed to prepare for each stage you're going through. Hear me again. You are allowed to prepare for each stage of wrath that the Most High is going to put upon the earth. I'm not saying you're going to get saved out of it. I'm saying, but you are allowed to prepare to go through it. Okay? Prepare to go through it. Get prepared to go through it. Proverbs 16:1. The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. That's why I tell you, and I always direct you back to the scriptures, back to the word. He has directives on what you're supposed to do. Did he not give directives to Joseph when 7 years of famine was going to be on the land? Tell me I'm wrong. He gave him directions. Was that not being prepared? Hello? Ezekiel 12:3. Therefore, son of man, prepare for yourself baggage for exile and go into exile by the day in their sight. Even go into exile from your place to another place in their sight. Perhaps they will understand, though they are a rebellious house. I'll say it again. Therefore, son of man, prepare for yourself baggage for exile. The Most High is telling you to prepare to go into exile with baggage. He didn't say just stand around and wait for them to come collect you. He told you to prepare. How hard is this to figure out? Come on, get some spiritual maturity. Stop being spiritually retarded. Damn. Therefore, Ezekiel 12:3, therefore, son of man, prepare yourself baggage for exile and go into exile by day in their sight. Even go into exile from your place to another place in their sight. Perhaps they will understand though they are a rebellious house. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah, being warned by Yahawah about things not yet seen, in reverence prepared an ark for the salvation of his household, by which he condemned the world and became the heir of the righteousness which is according to faith. What did he do? He listened to YAHAWAH and he prepared an ark for salvation of his household. How many of you are not going to try to at least prepare through the scriptures, through YAHAWAH to protect your household when you're told to do that and not be a damn infidel? 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word. Be ready in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with great patience and instruction. If you're preaching the word, if you're going off of 2 Timothy 4:2, that's a preparation. You get prepared before you go out to camp. You get prepared when you leave. You get prepared for your lessons when you do them online. Where is this that you can't be prepared? Where? Isaiah 43, a voice is calling. Clear the way for the Lord in the wilderness. Make smooth in the desert a highway for our power, for our God, okay? Malachi 3:1. Behold, I am going to send my messenger, and he will clear the way before me, and the Lord whom you seek will suddenly come in his temple, and the messenger of the covenant in whom you delight. Behold, he is coming, says the Lord of hosts. 1 Corinthians 14:8. For if the bulge produces an instinctive sound, who will prepare himself for battle? Do you prepare yourself for battle? Don't the Most High say, if you're going to go into battle, what's the first thing you do? Send an ambassador. Send an ambassador out to count the cost. Didn't it say count the cost to see if you can fulfill or if you can win? Isn't that a preparation? Sending an ambassador is a preparation. Counting the cost is preparation. Don't tell me you can't prepare to go through it, because you can. You're not going to get saved by all of that, because at the end, YAHAWAH is coming. Michael and the angels are all coming to save you, of course. But you have to go through the stages. You still got to go through stages. Prepare through the stages. That's your participation and your good works to YAHAWAH. That's how your good works are affected through the scriptures, by knowing the scriptures and prepare. If you can't give someone some directive during that time, what you gonna do? When isolation, tribulation comes and all communications cut off, no cell phones are working, nobody's able to communicate with anybody else, no one's be able to go anywhere in their vehicles or anywhere else, are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for that? That's what I'm asking. All right. Hebrews 10:5. Therefore, when he comes into the world, he says, sacrifice and offering you have not desired, but a body you have prepared for me. Hebrews 11:3. By faith, we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of YAHAWAH, so that what is seen was not made out of things which are visible. Preparation for blessing, spiritual preparation, steps required in returning to the Lord. It is he who will go as a foreigner before him in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children and the disobedient to the attitude of the righteous, so as to make ready people prepared for the Lord. Luke chapter 1:17. It is he who will go as a foreigner before him in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children and the disobedient to the attitude of the righteous, so as to make ready people prepared for the Lord. Do I need to read it 50 times? John 9:17, and said to him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. So he went away and washed and came back seeing. He told him to prepare. Mark 9:45, for everyone will be salted with fire. Hello? Everyone will be salted with fire. Didn't leave anybody out. What does my brother, what about always say? You gonna learn today. Psalms 39:4. Lord, make me to know my end and what is the extent of my days. Let me know how transcendent I am. John 12:7. Therefore, Yahushua said, let her alone, so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. Oh, that was preparation. Oh, well, what do you say? Ephesians 6:15. And having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Say what? Wait a minute. There's preparation there. Wait. Hold up. Let me hear that again. Ephesians 6:15. And having shod your feet with the, what is it called? Preparation of the gospel of peace. Wait a minute. Yahushua is telling you to prepare? Really? No. Really, he didn't say that. Did he say that? Well, let's tell you what. He said in Ephesians chapter 6. This is such a great book. I love Ephesians too. Shalaki. All right. Let's talk about preparation here in Ephesians for a minute. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Crack my knuckles. Sorry about that. All right. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and thy mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and that mayest live long in the earth. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of Yahushua, the Lord. 5, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling in singleness of your heart as unto Hamashiach. See, so stop being a demon and stop being a bug out and a spiritually retarded person and have some spiritual maturity. Stop doing that. 6, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as servants of Hamashiach, doing the will of Yahawah from the heart of your mind and in your spirit. Okay, I'm gonna read that one again, because we got a lot of people who like to serve men instead of the YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. Okay, we can clearly see the difference. Okay, not with eye service as man pleasers, but as servants of Hamashiach, doing the will of Yahawah from the heart. 7, with good will doing service as to the Lord and not to men. 8, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bond or free. See? 9, and ye masters, do the same things unto them, forbearing, threatening, knowing that your master also is in heaven, neither is there respect of persons with him. So Yahawah Shem Yahushua is not concerned about what you think he's concerned about. He's concerned about his prophetic processes coming to pass full force and full-fledged, and ain't nothing gonna stop it. So it's real simple. We all gotta go through some similitude of fire. If all the apostles went through it, then and now, we gotta go through it too. It's real simple. Okay? 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. See, he's the one that's going to get you through this. You can prepare all you want, but I'm going to tell you something. Without the YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua guiding you and giving you the scriptures and the men of the Lord, making sure that you understand what's going on, you can prepare all you want. It ain't going to do you no damn good. You still have to prepare under the directives of YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. That's why I told you that you got to go with like what Noah said. Noah prepared, and Job had to prepare. He went through it. All the elect have to go through it. All the elect have to go through it. You're not going to not go through something here. Elect or not, you got to go through something here. While you're here, you got to go through it. You got to chuck this flesh somehow, some way. Unless it gets transfigured, you're going to have to chuck it. Like I said in my lesson, you will get bit by the serpentine fire, like in the wilderness. 11, put on the whole armor of Yahawah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, if you got on armor, why do you have it on? Because you're going to have to go through something that protects you with the armor. You had to prepare to put it on. Why are you putting armor on? You're preparing for something. You're preparing to go through what? The wiles of the devil, right? If you wasn't going to go through anything and you didn't have to be prepared, then why put on the armor of YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua? Come on, people, think. If you putting on the armor, you're preparing to go through something. The wiles of the devil that's going to shoot darts at your ass. Why? That's why you putting on the armor. That's called preparation. If you didn't want to think you're going to go through nothing, then why put it on? Damn. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You got to get prepared for these damn devils, man. The Most High is telling you and showing you how to do it. Yes, pray. Yes, fast. Yes, worship. Yes, praise. But that's preparing. You got to do it. (13) Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Come on. Now, do I need to really explain that part to you? Do I really? If you're taking on the whole armor, so you'll be able, what does being able to withstand mean? It's a process of preparing in the evil day, and having done all stand, prepare to go through some shit, man. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. The preparation of the gospel of peace. It didn't say not preparation of the gospel of peace. It said the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. All of the darts of the wicked. Not some of them, but all of them. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of YAHAWAH. This is what we're saying. Be prepared. Don't be foolish. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. You have to prepare for the people and the sheep, so you have to be strong enough. If you're going to stand for the people, you have to put on all this armor. You have to prepare in order to stand and show the sheep this is what we're supposed to do for the Lord to go through this. This is what he's saying. This is what you're putting it on for, to go through things, to go through stuff, to go through this tribulation. You may get saved out of it early. That's up to the Most High if he predestined you to do that. But primarily he's telling you got to stand. Stand with his gospel armor on it of truth. Okay? And for me, the utterance may be given unto me that I may open my mouth boldly, which I'm trying to do, and make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, and that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak, but that ye also may know my affairs and how I do. Titus, a beloved brother and faithful minister in the Lord, shall make known to you all things, whom I have sent unto you for the same purpose, that ye might know our affairs, that he might comfort your hearts. Peace be to the brethren, barakatah, and love with faith from Yahawah the Father and the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach. Grace be with all them that love our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach in sincerity. Amen. All I'm saying is, look, we all got to go through stuff here. We can't, you know, I used to always hear, you're not going to get out of this life with this flesh alive. You're going to have to give it up at some point in time, all right? And I'm just trying to emphasize that to you, that preparation is all through the scriptures, everywhere, all through the Bible, the whole time. Okay, Exodus 12:16. On the first day ye shall have a holy assembly, and another holy assembly on the seventh day. No work at all shall be done on them, except what must be eaten by every person. That alone may be prepared by you. Proverbs 24:27. Prepare your work outside and make it ready for yourself in the field. Afterwards, then build your house. 1 Peter 1:13. Therefore, prepare your minds for action. Say what? Prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Yahawashi HaMashiach. I'm going to say it again. Therefore, prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of YAHAWAH HaMashiach. I'm going to read it again. Therefore, 1 Peter 1:13. Therefore, prepare your minds for action. Keep sober in spirit. Stop being spiritually immature and a damn bugged out demon. Fix your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of YAHAWAH HaMashiach. Completely. Fix your hope completely. See, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to tell you that just your preparedness is going to give you total salvation. Don't try to say I'm saying that, because I'm not. But you are allowed to prepare for the stages of stuff that's coming through tribulation. You are allowed to prepare for it. You got so many examples of it. Yahushua sent Peter and John saying, go and prepare the Passover for us so that we may eat it. And I'm going to read this one as the last precept. And then I'm going to hit just a few things on your worship to Yahawah Shem Yahushua and give you some precepts to go to and study. So I think it's important. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 3. A voice is calling. A voice is calling. Hello! Clear the way for the Lord, Yahushua. In the wilderness, make smooth in the desert a highway for our power, for Yahawah. That's what I have to say. As I said in the lesson, Yahawah always told his elect to prepare for his wrath. He's always told you that. And you need to worship, praise, and pray continually. Worship, praise, worship, and pray continually. Praise, worship, and pray continually. The worship of Yahawah is important. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. Believe in Yahawah as the only source of power in the universe and anywhere else. Exodus chapter 20. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Submit to Yahawah as the supreme head to be in unity with Yahawah and Yahawah Shem Yahushua. Deuteronomy 6, 5. Love Yahawah Shem Yahushua with all your heart, soul, and might. Deuteronomy 6, 12 through 13 and 25. Reverence Yahawah by keeping his laws. Exodus 23, 25. Serve Yahawah. Deuteronomy 10, verse 20. Hold fast to Yahawah. Deuteronomy 6:13, taking an oath by Yahawah's name. That is so important because you can't do an oath any other way. You can't. Deuteronomy 6:7, read, study, and meditate on the book of the law. Deuteronomy 6:7, teach the book of the law to our children. Deuteronomy 6:8, bind the law upon your hands. Be diligently dealing with it and doing it all the time. Bind, write the law upon your minds. Deuteronomy 6:8. Preach and publish Yahawah's law. 6:9. Gather for the reading of the law every 7th year. Deuteronomy 31, 10 to 13. A king must acquire and apply the book of the law. Deuteronomy 17, 18 to 20. Acquire the book of the law. Deuteronomy 31, 19. Be thankful to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in prayer and in praise and worship and deed. Deuteronomy 8:10. On that note, look, this message was to the hopeful elect and to the elect of the house of David through the sincere understanding of the accuracy that came out of and the blessed men who came through One West who are in this truth in the right way. Get prepared for the stages that we're coming to and going through right now. We're getting ready to go. By the time we get into this new, our new year, not this proxy pseudo new year they got going on, but when we get into March, I'm feeling in my spirit and talking to other Hebrew Israelites who have, spoken with me about this and conversations that we've had, Akim, Akwav, and the like, that once we get into March, coming to our new year, there's going to be some things that are going to be coming that no one is going to be able to be ready for. So all the preparation that you do now is circumspect. Basically, you have to do it out of obedience, because the Most High shows you in his scriptures, in his word, in this book, that you have to show your obedience to him. And this is how you get protected. You can't get protected if you aren't obedient. So by the time we come into our new year, I'm going to tell you, you better be real prepared as best you can for what's coming, because the stuff that's coming, it's going to be it's going to be beyond what I can say and what I can tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just saying, I did what the Lord told me to do. I brought the lesson that he told me to bring. He said, don't hold back, give it out. Don't care whether they like it or love it, lump it, whatever. He said, this is what I'm telling you to do, and you be obedient to get this out. And that's exactly what I do. And that's the only way I'm going to operate, is the way he brings it to me in the spirit. So that's what that is. Call Yahawah. Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakadash, Wada Yahawah, Bashim Yahushua, Shlaki Yahawah, if I erred in any way. Yahawah, for your mercy as I pray. Yahawah, for your direction every day. Call Yahawah, Vashim Yahushua, Shlaki Yahawah, for my sins as I cry.